Hello everyone and welcome to the Finer Tune. This is actually my very first video, so bear with me as I get through this. Um, as you probably noticed by my hat, I'm a big time Kiss fan. Um, but this is not going to be a Kiss channel. This is going to be a music channel, just generally speaking. We're going to discuss certain things on here. I'll go through and do some album reviews. In fact, I have the first two ready to go already, and you'll get those in the next couple of videos. We'll also go through and discuss specific songs and what they might mean, whether to me personally or just kind of generally what they could mean to someone. Uh, we're just looking to have a great discussion here. Uh, a lot of what you're going to hear is going to be just my opinion. Feel free to agree or be wrong. No, just kidding. It's okay for you to disagree with me. In fact, I welcome that disagreement. Um, so, like I mentioned earlier, and like the hat says, I'm a big Kiss fan. Why is that? Because when this is your introduction to rock and roll, and you're just a little kid, that's really cool. I was a fan even before I heard the first note on this album. But as I got older and actually started listening to the music, I realized that, hey, you know what? The music itself is actually pretty good. But, despite this picture right here being terrifying to me when I was a kid. But again, enough about them specifically for now. We're going to get into a little bit of everything. Now, keep in mind, I'm not really a musician per se. I do kind of play the guitar a little bit. I'm not very good at it, but I like to do it. And my wife and I, we go to shows whenever we can. I think the most recent one we went to was Volbeat. Uh, and I've been to, I don't even know how many over the years, of multiple genres, by the way. One of the best that I've ever seen was actually B.B. King when he played just a casino bar, and he was just fantastic. He had some blues band from Minneapolis opening for him, and I don't remember the name of that band. They're not well known at all. Um, I'm also a fan of country music. One of the best shows that I've ever seen was George Strait, as well as I saw Charlie Pride not long before he passed, and Merle Haggard about a year before he passed. And at that show, to be honest with you, Merle sounded better than Merle, to be honest with you. I know that seems kind of a silly thing to say, but live he sounded a lot better than his recordings did. I'm also a fan of, you know, the heavier side of metal, Slipknot, Lamb of God, that kind of stuff. More traditional metal, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Metallica type stuff. Early hard rock and what eventually became metal, Black Sabbath, and like I mentioned before, Kiss, and some of those early bands. I like the psychedelic 60s to a certain extent. Not a huge fan of the psychedelic era, but when you've got Jimi Hendrix out there revolutionizing the music scene, that's pretty cool. Um, Eddie Van Halen comes by a little bit later, and he further revolutionizes the way things are done. But let's go even further back in time. You've got like the early Beatles, early rock and roll, 1950s, Chuck Berry. To be honest with you, and I might catch some heat for this, I love Elvis. He's not the king of rock and roll and never was. The reason I say that, he had nothing to do with actually creating it. I do think he played an important role in the beginning of rock and roll, but the true king is and always will be, in my opinion, one Mr. Chuck Berry. But if you want to go back even before then, there were different genres that kind of melded into what became rock and roll, which evolved over time to, just a wide variety of, I mean, it evolved into what we know today as hip hop or metal. Um, Country music actually kind of evolved and evolved both into rock and roll and because of rock and roll. The disco era would have never happened, the funk era would have never happened if not for the likes of Chuck Berry, but even his predecessors like, Robert Johnson from way back, one of the finest guitarists that I've ever heard, actually. I also like stuff like, Frank Sinatra. In fact, when people ask what music I like, I tell them anything from Slipknot to Sinatra, and pretty much anything in between. There's some music that I'm not a fan of course, just like you are. Um, you're going to like some stuff, you're not going to like some stuff, and that's okay. You're going to agree with me on some stuff, you're not going to agree with me on some stuff. That's also okay. But what you're getting from me is an honest opinion from a non-musician's point of view, but a guy who does kind of dabble in the guitar a little bit. I can play some stuff, but you're never going to see me on a stage anywhere, not even here in my hometown in a local bar band. You might hear me playing in this very room right here if you ever come to my house. And if you know where that is, you're free to come on over whenever. But again, this is an introduction into what this channel is going to be. Again, it's called Finer Tune, and we're going to delve into music. I mean, anything from album reviews to what lyrics mean, either to me specifically or to misunderstood lyrics and things of that nature, to whatever you may mention that you'd like to discuss in the comments below, which please do leave a comment. Also, share, subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you next time. Until then, stay tuned.